That is why that's there, because they do speak like that. It's an undeniable truth. Go to any college, go on any bus, any train, you will hear children using those words. Now, that does not mean they're not acceptable. It's a form of communication. Now, if they're establishing rapport between each other, that makes them successful communicators.
That's right.
They're never going to go up to mum and say, yo, mum, check my drib and my bars and my crep. And if they do, you're probably not going to have as much success in the communication. Which would be a great experience. So then they're going to modify their language, adapt it to audience. Yeah, it doesn't have to be super formal. And then they're going to communicate better. And then when they go out to a nice Michelin star restaurant and they're talking to a waiter or the chef or people in company, or they're in a scenario where they're in a job interview, for them to shift that modality and understanding audience and vocabulary, for me, that's establishing rapport. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to be as successful in those scenarios without the language.
Absolutely.
So acquire, apply when it is right.
On this episode of My Words, My Book, we have McGrammar, the creation of award-winning teacher and rapper Jacob Mitchell, who went viral in 2019 after a video of him rapping popular children's picture book, The Gruffalo, received over 5 million views. Having struggled in school himself, the father of 4 credits his discovery of books as his turning point with education. Jacob believes no child should be left behind and that there needs to be excitement, challenge, inclusion, and most importantly, fun in the classroom. The Adventure of Rap Kid is his debut children's series. McGrammar, why did you become an author?
Very good question. Well, I've spent a lot of time representing other people's books, sharing them as a teacher, a parent, and as a performer rapping them. So it only made sense that I had to write my own book. Also, books have changed my life and I know how important they are and they stick around forever. So I wanted to write one for myself so I could have an impact on young people's lives. So that was the main motivation. I love books, I love reading, so I wanted to be an author too.
Absolutely. And your background is also you're a teacher.
Yes.
Qualified teacher.
I am, yeah.
And what age group was that?
I taught from most of Key Stage 2, a little bit of Key Stage 1. Predominantly, I spent my time in Year 5 and Year 6, so those years when they're really refining their writing, their core skills and moving into the SATs, which was a great experience as a teacher, trying to keep kids motivated for tests. But I feel like it made me a better educator as well.
Absolutely. And then I suppose I'm quite curious, that change from teacher to McGrammar. How did that come about?
Well, the best bit about that is happened organically. I think a good teacher knows their audience. My kids in the class, they loved music, and they had difficult subjects to learn and remember. It wasn't just about learning, it was about remembering and applying, which is sometimes quite tough on kids. You've got to point out, answer this question. So to make it efficient, to make it current, trendy, cool, which is McGrammar's staple, right? I made music and started rapping the whole syllabus and turned it into rap songs, and the kids loved it. They ended up smashing their tests, doing really, really well. And then other people wanted to see this rapping sensational teacher, right? So we needed a name. And at the time, I developed it for the grammar syllabus.
Wow, yeah.
So I called myself McGrammar, which went over the heads of the kids as a joke for stop, it's grammar time rather than stop, it's hammer time. But now I rap about everything from volcanoes to earthquakes to dinosaurs to the Tudors to times tables, books, you name it. It's now a musical resource that's inspiring a lot of kids worldwide.
And I think that taps into many children, because I'm dyslexic. You probably hear that the way I pronounce certain words. I'm verbally dyslexic. So I struggled in primary school. I was in a primary school yesterday, and I share my struggles in primary school and secondary school with me being dyslexic. And I think if I had an McGrammar in primary school, I probably would have done okay. Because I think what you do, it hits so many different children, and it's all about saying, and I think also too to teachers and parents and educators, is that there's not just a textbook way of learning. Children learn in many different ways, and I think using music in a sensory format really taps in, and it gives, then children are able to have that light bulb moment, you
Sure.
know?
I mean, I needed that as well. I actually was okay in primary, but I got to secondary, which was very much open your book, look at the board, carry on. That didn't really work for me, that sort of cookie cutter
Yes.
mentality. So I actually failed school, one GCSE, and it was only when I then found my way of learning, which was through music, and I had success in that for GCSEs, A levels, degree, PGC, and so on, that I thought, I'm going to do this with the kids in my class, because like you say, not everyone learns in some kids do, which is fantastic, but not everyone does. So there needs to be options. Plus, parents need support as well. There's a lot of homework nowadays kids get, and having the opportunity through platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and social media, I'm able to reach parents to support them. And a very important one here is the teachers. Teachers have got a lot of work, heavy workload.
Yes.
And they need to inspire a classroom of 30 kids that have varying needs. Some might get it, some might not.
Yes.
Some might love music, some might not. So having the flexibility of resources like mine at the tip of their fingers also supports them, and they're very important.
So when you left school with one GCSE, older than me, it was CCSE, which I left school with hardly any qualifications, so it's quite a parallel. And then I went into early years teaching a few years after. Did you go straight into teaching, or did you have another job, then went back to studying?
Yeah, I couldn't get into college because I didn't have the results, right? You needed 5 GCSE. So I actually went to work in a hardware store. I won't say where, because, but I didn't have a good time, not because of the hardware store, because I didn't want to work in that job, but I didn't have options. So I felt quite isolated, disillusioned by things, you know, and being a young man, things like that, when you can't express yourself, boys tend to look for other outlets of expression, yeah? So some boys act up. For me, I was searching for answers, so I started to read books. And then when I started to read books, I realized that, you know, words can create worlds for you, and I thought that was amazing. So I acquired this vocabulary, I refined my voice, then fell into music, started writing my feelings down, which was a massive outlet for me. And then I had a understanding of how I learned, which was through rhyme. And I started applying that, and I met an inspirational teacher who said he would get me into college to do my GCSEs and A levels at the same time. But back then it was AS and A2. I'm not sure what it's like now. So he said, if you don't pass the AS with the GCSEs, you can't do the A2. But by now I was, you know, ready to learn. I had my way. So I smashed my GCSEs, did really well on the AS, did the A levels, and the rest was history. After that, I found my way of learning, and it was through that exposure to music and books that allowed me to really refine what worked for me. And I think that was the key, and I was shining bright then.
And I think that's it. And I think one of the jobs that I had as well, I used to teach in adult education, and a lot of the students, similar stories to both of us, left school with hardly any qualifications, then had to go back. And I feel what you're doing as MC Grammar is super important, that children and young people can see themselves in you, that there are different ways of learning.
Yeah.
And it's important that teachers and parents recognize that.
Yeah.
And I can see that, probably like yourself, because you connect with so many children who probably come up to you and say, you know, they're inspired by you via rapping, etc. And we know from that show, oh my goodness me, Educating Yorkshire, where that young person, that on the first series, his name escapes me, and he had the stammer, and then his teacher used music to get him to recite. And it's just about saying there are many different ways of learning, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's what's good about modern society. We're now a bit more open.
Yes.
We're open as people. We're accepting. We understand that people are different. There's different ways to learn now. A lot of homeschooling. You know, there's things online, there's screen time, there's stuff, you know, tutor groups, there's traditional schooling. So I think we're in a better position now, but I think we've still got a long way to go.
Yes.
One thing people don't realise about rap music is it's literally poetry on music,
Absolutely.
on a beat, right? You take any poem, whether it's written by Shakespeare, Michael Rosen, yourself, and you put it to music, it becomes a rap. It's a form of expression. So I always say to the kids, you want to be a sick rapper, you need to be a sick reader. So make sure you're reading. Keep reading and keep rapping. You can't go to a battle without the words,
Yes.
right? Because if you've got 50 words and I've got 5,000, who's winning that battle? And then it's about the manipulation of that vocabulary, the syntax, and understanding how words work. And where are you going to get that from? Good books. And these masters have done it before you. You know, they just read their works,
Yes,
you know, absorb it, you know, mix it up, and then come with your style. And that's one of the things we do a lot of rap workshops, and kids don't really understand. That's just pure literacy there, and oracy, and all the good stuff that comes out of music.
It's the two R's, reading and rapping, and
Yeah,
because I
read, rap,
always say
repeat.
that, as you so rightly said, rapping, it's poetry, it's words.
Yeah, and there's a stigma with it. Specifically in the UK, for some reason, it's different in the US. I've just been to New York recently, and it's so much more welcome there.
Absolutely.
As a form of expression, it's an understanding, it's an art form. And you know, in America, they call English language arts, right?
Yes.
Which is so cool because language is an art.
Absolutely, yeah.
The best of the artists know how to use the language in ways that they can, you know, can shift an audience and do wonder. Whereas here, we get this whole thing about, you know, rap is negative, it's reflective of street culture, it promotes violence. But actually, it's, if you want to change the outcome, if you want to change the song, look at what, change the input,
Yes, yeah.
Because that's
and there's a snobbery attached to that, isn't it? Because actually, if you really listen, you know, to old school rap, I mean, I was brought up in the 80s as a teenager, and that really old school rap out of New York, it's quite slick, some of the lyrics, and it's quite cleverly done when you really listen to it. And when you, I'm sure you probably pick this up when you're doing your workshops, you can see some children there that have natural talent that hasn't been honed in. And I always say, sometimes it's not the teacher's fault. It's the, dare I say, the Department of Education, where they have, this is the set curriculum. And some children recognising that actually children have different ways of learning. And why not use rap, MC Grammar's work, to inspire children,
exactly
you know?
that. But also, rap and hip hop is truth, right?
Yes.
If you don't like what you're hearing, then maybe do something about it, because at the end of the day, it's an expression, it's pain. Yeah, it's just how we feel.
This is your lived experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a commentary of your life.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why Rapper's second album is always about the bling and how much money they've got. They've made it by then, right? The first one's about the come up and the struggle, which is the truth. And then the second one's, oh, look how much money I've got. Because the lifestyle has changed.
Absolutely.
So it's a running commentary. So actually, it's purely, rap is reflective. And the really good rappers have that precise understanding of language and vocabulary. And if you would take a scholar and were to pick apart some of those songs, you'd find all of those literary devices, poetic techniques, all of that good stuff is in there that you'd expect from any good book. And
even Shakespeare is the
well, Shakespeare's a rapper, wasn't he? Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he invented so many idioms and phrases and coined all these terms that we use nowadays.
And I think if only then, there's a way of looking at, we can change the world with the curriculum, you know?
Big job.
Absolutely,
Let's get going.
So in terms of it's taking you way back when, your childhood, did you have a favourite book as a child?
Yeah, I mean, I had lots of books. I was very fortunate. My mum would read to me all the time, and it was a special experience, you know. For me, reading books is the bridge between an adult and a child. It's that bond. Especially now in a noisy world that we live in, with emails pinging off and instant messaging and screen time distractions. I think it's a calm whisper reading. Yeah, it connects us.
I love that, a calm whisper. It's just beautiful.
And it just brings us together. And obviously all the good stuff is in there, you know, the vocabulary, the language development, the understanding of stories. But then there's the real magic in books that my mum would share with me, which is walking in other people's shoes. You've got the empathy there, you know, understand that words build worlds, the igniting an imagination, the togetherness. This is just wonder, right? So I had that fortunate experience with my mum. So I've got so many fond memories of picture books, like Where the Wild Things Are. I used to love that one, you know. And and then I became a reader. Back then, Roald Dahl was the guy. You know, he was the GOAT back then. Yeah, him and Quentin Blake were just running the show. And I think my book for me was I love Matilda, which is sometimes uncharacteristic for a boy to say, because it's about, you know, a lead female character. But actually, I really connected with Matilda because, like, for me, she stands for everything in which reading is about, right? No matter how dark your circumstances are, no matter where you're from, no matter what else is going on in your life, with that book in your hand, you're never alone. It speaks to you, it listens to you, it's a companion, a passport, a portal. It's like a map, whether it's an adventure, a quest for knowledge, a friend. She had that light in her life, and it existed in the pages. So for me, it's a fantastic book and an example of the power books and reading give us.
Absolutely. And I think you touched on something there. I think what I find is how books are put into pigeonholes. This is a book for boys, this is a book for girls. And actually, you've just clearly stated that. Well, Matilda, it's a book for every single child to resonate with and to take something away from that. And I think that's sometimes a danger that we have. With books. It's a book for boys, it's a book for girls, and it's a book for toddlers, it's a book for young people. And some of my books traditionally are for the younger age range. But if I've done story sessions and I've had 11-year-olds with that awe and wonder on their face, you know.
There's also the depth and analysis in a picture book.
Absolutely.
I mean, just take Where the Wild Things Are.
Yes.
Does that even happen? Is that in his imagination?
Yes,
Is his mum even there? You know, is there a land like that? How does he get there really? Do you know, there's so much conversation. I used to use picture books all the time to teaching grammar, you know.
Absolutely.
For example, this one here, can you add the inverted commas in the speech here between these two characters, right? Because it's reflective of your childhood, that those lovely times of reading those books, but also now you're developed as a writer. How do you interpret those pages accurately? Also, what's your perception? It'd be interesting to see someone else's. So there's just so much mileage in there. I think they're the most, you know, underrated thing in our world book.
Oh, absolutely. And I think children's books as well. I don't feel that we get enough flowers and props.
I agree.
For writing children's books as opposed to adults' books.
It's such a difficult, 32 pages in a picture book, right? For you to get across your message, the right amount of words, and for it to resonate with your audience and connect people. Absolutely. That's extremely difficult. And that's why, you know, there's so many amazing picture books out there. I just wish people knew about them. Because you can answer any question, right? If I wanted to teach colours, for example, fruits and days of the week, I could go and pick up The Very Hungry Caterpillar now. Done, lesson done. In one book. I haven't got to go online onto certain websites, subscribe to teach all these things. I can just engage in the amazing wonder of reading a book and at the same time learn and be together. Which is a beautiful thing. That's the power of
books. So saying that in terms of what is your best book, because obviously, you know, on I think every Sunday, isn't it, that you drop a new wrap?
Book wrap,
as I'm eating my Sunday dinner, here we go, it's coming. Book wrap coming. So I look out for it on a Sunday. So which would be your favourite if I was to ask you your favourite, or you don't have favourites?
I don't have favourites in the sense of I have personal preferences. My books I like reading my kids because there's those anchors there, but I also like playing with genres. And I like the challenge when it doesn't rhyme, for example, or someone says to me, can you turn this into a picture book? So I really enjoyed turning Guess How Much I Love You into a song. And that I went for Spandau Ballet's, you know, song. So for that one, that was wicked because I got to do some singing. Then I love the more grittier stuff when you do the Gruffalo to Dr. Dre. That resonates with people, which is nostalgic because the parents now who are parents probably grew up on that music.
Absolutely.
So you've got that dual audience. They're listening to it, remembering the good times in the club, and they were just vibing. But at the same time, they're reading these books to their kids. So if I had to pick one, you're going to make me pick one. I probably have to say We're Going on a Bear Hunt because you were there this year at Glastonbury. I don't know if you saw.
We were both at Glastonbury.
Yeah, we were there. We were at Glastonbury. Only legends get to go to Glastonbury. What's a beautiful day when I'm scared? Crush, you ready? Long way, cross, and we can't go under it. Oh no, we got to do And I performed that live in the kids' field, and Michael Rosen was there.
He was there, that's right.
And my wife caught a video of him, and he was dancing to my the goat, the legend, was there while I was spitting these bars about going on a bear hunt, my adaptation of his book, and then to see him not just enjoying my adaptation, but just actually dancing along, having fun. I think that's testament to who he is as a person.
Yeah.
He's so progressive, so supportive of young writers and literacy all over the country and all over the world, in fact. But also, what a moment to have the creator in Glastonbury with me while I'm rapping and he's dancing. I mean, that you couldn't make that up.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. That's a moment. And looping back to Michael, who is just a legend, and something that you said, I was actually going to say it, but I thought, oh, I've already said it in another podcast, but I'm going to say it again because Michael is a legend. And he was, you know, in Glastonbury, I sat with him and I chatted with him and my sister was there. But prior to that, probably about 2 years ago, Michael and I, we were both doing keynotes to head teachers. And Michael went on first, and he's, you know, he's brilliant at storytelling. He doesn't need a PowerPoint presentation. No. He just had all these different books and just going through them and sharing verbs, and your children will like this. And one of the things that he said that resonated with me was, and he said, oh, when children are brought to you, and if they've been quote unquote in trouble and they've been sent to sit outside your, you know, the head teacher's office, rather than going in with them and being, you know, super cross, just stop and ask the child their story. And I just thought that was a beautiful moment, because probably if I had that in secondary school, things may have been different. I may have passed my CSEs or O levels, whatever it was then. And for those teachers to have that as a takeaway in terms of connecting with children, not seeing the negative behaviour, just ask the child their story. And that forms into what you were saying about around storytelling, getting the child to use their voice.
Yeah.
And Michael brilliantly said that to the head teachers, not in a patronising way, but in a storytelling way, in terms of how we share stories, you know?
And that's testament to him as a character and a person. You know, he's such a beacon when it comes to just doing the right thing, always, I find. But also how you could tell he's a reader, because people who read get insight into others' lives. Cultural representation.
Absolutely.
You see yourself, you see others.
Yes.
When you see others, you can understand more. You become empathy. Becomes something. And someone like him saying, what's your story? You can just tell he's had time to really understand that actually there are different lenses. It's like the toddler kicking off in the supermarket lying on the floor, right? That's an expression. It's a big one, don't get me wrong. I've got 4 kids. I know these expressions are big. And a lot of people might be looking at you, but you've always got to go down to like, there are feelings there, big feelings, right? They can't articulate those feelings right now. And also I can't, you know, translate them. But just sometimes a hug, in that massive moment of when they're roaring like a wild lion, is all they need, just to say,
I see you.
I feel you're going through something right now. These feelings are big. I acknowledge that they're big. We can work on those, talk me through them, we can work them out. And so sometimes, you know, I think that is one of the lessons you get from reading other people's stories.
Absolutely.
But if you're not doing that, it's always your story.
Yes.
It's always your lens.
Yes.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to portray that on others.
Absolutely.
That kid's kicking off, they're naughty.
Yes, indeed,
Are they?
But it's their story.
There might be some major trauma at home right now. They might really want that lollipop because it's red and it's sparkling and it's up high. And they don't understand why they can't have it.
Exactly. And indirectly what Michael was saying was getting the child to tell their story. He was saying it's verbally and getting them to write. So that's your literacy there.
Yeah.
The child's out of classroom, but hello.
Same with writing the raps. Write me a story. No, I don't want to write me a rap. Oh, okay then. And you write, well, rap. Can you make sure this rap has a beginning, middle and end? It's got some character to it. Yeah, I got that. They've written a story, right? But this one rhymes. It's got alliteration in it. It's got personification in it. It's got using metaphors, analogies. It's great. So again, a good practitioner, educator, parent, grown-up, carer, just understands their audience. It's about connection. How does this person react best to these scenarios? How do these kids learn best? And that's what we do.
And it's that connection through books.
Yeah. Well, I recognise those ones right there. They're bangers, by the way. You should get those.
Do you know this book?
Well, I recognise it, yeah.
So the second one, this is just absolutely amazing. Love the cover, by the way. Well done.
Thank you.
And the goat.
The goat. It's very current. See what I mean? Know your
Absolutely.
audience. Know your
Know your
audience. I want them to pick up
audience
that book. There's a lot of
and just
magic in
look
there.
it. So what's the, give us a brief synopsis of
Yeah.
book 2, please.
So Zed, aka Rap Kid, he loves to rhyme. And in this book, he wants to officially become the GOAT. But to be the GOAT, let's be honest, you have to be the greatest of all time, being the main word there, time. So he's going to travel back in time in this book to battle the GOATs of history, from Hades to Cleopatra to Queen Victoria. I'm not going to give away all the characters, they're spoilers, but this time he does it with his crew, the gang, you know, the Rat Pack. You've got SF, who is a beatboxer. You've got Jasper, who I can't tell you who he was in the previous book. You'll find out. He's in there as well. You've got a librarian called Paige Turner.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, get it.
Paige Turner. You've got an inspirational teacher, character, leader, mentor, who's Mr. G. That's the nod to MC Grammar there. Yeah. You've got a head teacher who sort of disagrees with their methods. And do they come around in the end through understanding and empathy, maybe? But more importantly for me, I feel like it's a book that I needed when I was a kid. It's got representation in there. You know, you've got a girl in a hijab doing beatboxing, which looks wicked. I think we're going to see the illustration in a little while. You've got, you know, a cool librarian, because books are cool. This whole notion that school isn't cool, well, it is if you learn your way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's fun, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I had a lot of fun when I was a teacher, and the kids loved my class. We were learning a lot, and we enjoyed it. So yeah, it's a nod to being a good teacher. It's a nod to having mentors around. It's a nod to hip hop culture, as you can see from the front cover. There's loads of raps in there. Anything about football to Minecraft to all the current stuff kids are into. There's a lot of vocabulary in there they might not know. Street talk, which I think for me makes you an adaptable communicator. Being able to go between slang to formal vocabulary. Switch, yeah, exactly. Very important.
That's a good point, because I was watching a TV show to do with children and young people. And the one child said the term bro, and another child, we're not allowed to use that term. And I was sitting on the fence with that thinking, well, it's not a swear word.
Yeah, well, listen, there's bro in that loads of times.
I know, in my book, I've got bro.
Yeah, but I use the word guys as well. Like, guys, for me, it's about, from my perspective, and I'm sharing this with my audience, these are just terms of endearment. Terms that we use to connect, to bring us close together. What's up, bro? Yo, guys, you good? All that kind of stuff. And all that vocabulary is in there. Let's have a look, actually. Let's see if you can pass one. Do you want to try one of the tests?
Yes.
Let's see if you understand some of the street bars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. They give me a test.
Here we go. Crepes. What are crepes?
Shoes.
Yeah, what? You're firing on cylinders. It's going to get harder, though.
I'm from the ends.
You're from the ends. Gassed. If someone is gassed, I'm gassed.
You're bigging them up.
Yeah, you're gassing them up. Yeah, super excited about it. Okay, let's go. We're going to make this hard now. If you pre something, to pre it.
To give it the once over.
Yeah, watch, spy it. Yes, okay. Why are you not getting this one? Because this one I didn't know. I had to research this one based on the kids now. What is a Sigma boy? Now this, I didn't know this, by the way. This was
loose funny.
Here it says the boy is unique, cool, and doesn't follow the crowd.
Okay.
You know, you're a Sigma girl, there's an independent boss. There's other ones like Skibbity Toilet. Do you know what that means?
Skibbity Toilet?
Yes, it's a viral meme. Anyway, drip. What does drip mean? You've got the good drip there.
Boring?
Nah.
Exciting?
Outfit, that's your style.
Outfit, that's a drip, yes. Oh my goodness.
Education.
I'm old.
No, you're not.
But you know what? This is really good. Sorry, I didn't win us £1 million in the game show. I apologise.
It's all right.
But you know why this is really good? Because I think, you know, I've got two sons. The oldest one's autistic, but they're in their 20s now. So some of the words I would try, and I'd come back and I'd say, oh, I've just known this word. I was on the bus today, and they'd laugh at me. But why this is good, because I think also too for adults, I think we need to understand how children and young people are speaking, but not necessarily join the party, if that makes sense. Do you see what I mean by that? Because that is their world and that's their culture, that's their way of speaking uniquely. And I think we talked about Shakespeare. A lot of the words that we know now actually came from Shakespeare. So I think it is important that children can recognize their world and their language in books, right?
Exactly. And that is why that's there, because they do speak like that. It's an undeniable truth. Go to any college, go on any bus, any train, you will hear children using those words. Now, that does not mean they're not acceptable. It's a form of communication. Now, if they're establishing rapport between each other, that makes them successful communicators.
That's right.
They're never going to go up to mum and say, yo, mum, check my drib and my bars and my crep. And if they do, you're probably not going to have as much success in the communication. Which would be a great experience. So then they're going to modify their language, adapt it to audience, It doesn't have to be super formal. And then they're going to communicate better. And then when they go out to a nice Michelin star restaurant and they're talking to a waiter or the chef or people in company or they're in a scenario where they're in a job interview, for them to shift that modality and understanding audience and vocabulary, for me, that's establishing rapport. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to be as successful in those scenarios without the language.
Absolutely.
So acquire, apply when it is right.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. No, I totally agree.
So when you talk to a kid, a little toddler, when I talk to my toddler, I talk very different to my 10-year-old.
That's right, absolutely.
First of all, it's getting down to their level. All of these physical changes in body language we do naturally as communicators, but we've also got to do that with our mouth as well.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. So thank you for schooling me.
There you go. Got some words right there.
Every day's a day at school, excuse the pun.
Yeah, we're always learning.
So therefore, in this, I always have to ask another favourite. Do you have a favourite page?
Yeah, we've got an illustration page I'm going to show you here. This is the battle between Hades, here it is, Hades and you've got here Jasper having a battle. You see that? There you go. Look at that, crew.
Look at that.
Yeah, and I love this page because I think there's first
the illustrations.
This Ian Brown who does this. He's a legend. He's called Zombie Illustrations on socials. And yeah, I mean, all the way through the book, he's just done so well.
And I like how one page is just standalone illustrations. I think it just speaks volumes, you know, because sometimes, you know, there's an illustration on the corner, but that page by itself, I just think it's amazing. You can just look at that. If you was reading that with a group of children, in terms of what they were able to take away without having any words there. It's just amazing.
It's so cool. I mean, there you go. So there you go. Alan Brown on the pictures.
Alan Brown, that's it.
Big up Alan Brown.
Give him his flowers, his props, everything.
Yeah, he's done so well there because obviously, you know, when you write a book, you have a picture in your mind.
That's right.
And actually, when someone draws that picture, you're like, what?
Yes,
Yes. And when someone doesn't draw that picture, you're like, what? No, But with him,
he understood the assignment.
There were all what? Yes, Alan moments. So yeah, I mean, there's so much cool stuff, and there's loads of raps for the kids to share. There's a wrap up at every chapter. There's a Minecraft rap there. You've got rhyming couplets there for like their own bars. So it's sort of like a little bit of an interactive book that they can get stuck into. It's got a lot of side notes. It pings off a little bit to encourage kids. You know what? If your reading stamina's not quite there yet. For me, it's the kind of book that you go from, I've read Dogman. I've done Diary Wimpy Kid and those sort of books now. I want to get into some more serious novels and I need a bridge that still has those breaks, still has those illustrations. And that's for me where it sits. You know, I want those reluctant readers, but also the kids who, I remember with my daughter, she was reading all that stuff and then I gave her Harry Potter, for example. She was like, oh, the writing's too small or the pages are too thick. And I was like, you're judging the book literally by the way it looks. Literally by its cover. Like you haven't even read a page yet. And she was like, it's too much. And I think that's because the training process she was going for was these very thin books, they had a lot of images, a lot of colours. And it wasn't, the dopamine hit wasn't getting the same as like the screen, right? Kids are used to that. So I was very mindful of that when writing this book.
But I think what's hearing you speak there, MC Grammar.
Yes.
Just about to call you your first name.
Don't reveal it. It's like the Superman vibe, yeah?
Exactly, absolutely. Shh.
No one knows. It's only in my bio at the front of the book. Yeah?
MC Grammar. And I think what I'm picking up here, I'm listening to you, is that as you're talking, you can see so much is coming through as you're writing. What you're thinking about is parent, teacher, rapper, all of that is in there. As you're writing, in terms of some of the things what the children will take away from that. And I do that with some of my books. I think, oh, goodness me, would a 3-year-old be able to understand what I'm
Mm.
talking about? And then I have my parent hat on, my educator, teacher hat on, and then rapping in terms of what you want children to take away
Yeah.
and learn. And that leads me on nicely to my next question. What do you think children will take away, learn? There may not be anything from this book.
Yeah, I mean, from this book, there's going to be loads of them to take away. Well, first of all, the acquisition of all that cool vocabulary, the enjoyment factor, because it's a very get stuck in book. So there's raps, like I say, there's activities, there's bits when they've got to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics, for example. There's the rap battle at the end of it as well. Plus, also what I've tried to do with this book here is not be obvious. Now, a rap battle tends to be, you know, you're at a moment of cussing each other, yeah, bringing people down. Whereas in this rap battle, it's more about empathy and understanding. Sort of like the 8 Mile model with Eminem, like I understand why you're that way. It's all good, bro. Just like, but let me tell you, things can be better for you if you work on those issues, things you're going through, and I'm here to help you. So it's like anything MC Grammar, I want it to be a positive space. Yeah, I want it to be a safe space, but the main thing, I want it to be cool. I want it to be representative. I want it to be edgy. And, you know, we know from the kids that come to the MC Grammar shows in the chains and the shade, they connect with this character. I'm speaking third person here, but and I want to maintain that. When you have such a positive influence that kids want to dress up and be like you have a massive responsibility to make content that is positive, but also life-changing, and safe. And that's what this is. Rap Kid, book raps, the songs I rap about, the spaces I perform in. It's a nod to hip-hop culture, it's a nod to street culture, it's a nod to London, England, UK.
Yes.
All people, above all, it is fun.
Yeah.
And cool.
Absolutely amazing. So if you was interviewing yourself, holding the mirror up to you, what question would you ask yourself about this book?
What would I ask about this book? I would probably say to myself, do you think this book is going to have a significant impact on a child's life? Or I would say, what is its message?
And your answer is?
I would say yes. And its message is good vibes, positivity, shared experiences, and a ton of fun reading and learning.
Fantastic. And it's got all of that in there in terms of what I've said.
In a stealthy
I've read the first book. I need to read the second book.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just loving the fact that I've got a book. And you know, my favourite thing about this book, I have to share this, is my mum, she was a teacher for 30 years.
Wow.
Early years, yeah?
Like myself, right? Wow.
And obviously she had a massive passion for books. You're going to have to be for in early years. And this book is dedicated to her. It says here, you can see that. See it? It says, for my mum, Andrula, the real goat.
The real goat,
For me, my mum is the real goat because she's been so supportive and I wouldn't be here without her, and she's always there no matter what. She's like books to me. She's just that person that's always there. And this is a little nod to my mum. Big up my mum. There you go, mum.
And I think I saw the clip on the socials.
Oh yeah, when I gave it to her, yeah. I mean, I love the fact that forever this piece of history would carry her name.
That's right. Absolutely.
In any bookshop, in any library, people will always know that. Oh, this guy.
And she must be super proud.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of my mum, so.
Absolutely, yes. And she probably looks down on you thinking, wow, this is just amazing. What everything that you've achieved.
Yeah, I'm very grateful, and like it all started with books, and it's still happening with books.
From your mum.
Yeah, it started as a kid, then I started reading myself. That gave me that, you know, that come up from that dip in my life, and then here I am, champion other people's books. Your children. Yeah, and sharing books with my kids, but now writing my own books.
Yes.
There's so much more to come. Like.
So, although Rap Kid The Goat has just come out, is there a book 3 coming along?
Yes, there is a book 3.
Any spoilers? I won't tell anybody.
I can't tell what they're. No spoilers, and the whole podcast is going to thousands of people. I will say that the book 1 for me was a literacy journey, you know, understanding how words work and poetry and so on. Book 2 for me is more about history, going back in time. Book 3 is going to be about geography, an understanding of the world.
Oh, amazing.
All a connection.
But it's still Rap Kid. It's
Yeah.
still in the series.
You're fishing
Okay.
here to find out, but that's
Yeah, I'm
all
terrible.
we're getting today.
That's why I'm an interviewer. And is there any talk of theatre, films,
Well,
TV shows?
this definitely could easily be adapted.
We're looking over at the person from the
Yeah,
publishing
it could be
house there.
adapted for sure. I mean, I'd love to see Rap Kid on the screen. I think it lends itself perfectly.
It does.
And I think
I
kids would
see it.
absolutely love the whole beatboxing, the rap battling,
yeah.
going back in time, you know, things like that. Especially the way we travel back in time. We do it in a very clever way.
Yes.
We use a bit of, you know, computer work. So it's not, you know, we're not taking it away like it's a fantasy book, because it's not. This is real. This is truth. But also there's the drama element. And in that picture we had here, you could see all the drama going on. So for example, the head teacher here is dressed up as Hades, yeah? Here we've got a three-headed Cerberus dog, which is actually a teddy bear, you know? So actually you can go anywhere in the world in your mind, in imagination, and that's what good drama lessons are and school lessons are. So it's a nod to teaching.
Relatable. And coming now, as we know that children are watching less and less TV, it's small screens, YouTube, etc. And I think this is very relatable to children in terms of the rapping, the language. They'll be able to identify that wherever they are in the UK and on a global level. Because I think music for children, I was a judge in a primary school. They had like a Britain's Got Talent type thing. And it was just amazing to see the children come and perform. Some did poetry, some sang, some did acting. And I think, and I learned some new songs. I think we spoke about that before we started to record this, that my artists that I know are going to be very different to children aged 8, 10 and 11, you know?
I think it's also this culturally what Rap Kid represents is an energy. Yeah. Kids, you put on a hip hop tune or rap tune, a dance tune, a bashment tune, whatever tune, even at 1 year old, forget about they don't understand the language. They are vibing. You see a kid's head bop. It's all over the internet, viral memes, left, right, and center. That is an energy. It's a vibration, yeah? So that is what this book is. The idea is I created this ball of energy captured in pages that I hope vibrates and resonates at a level for young children to want to pick it up, learn about the world of Zed, but also learn about themselves at the same time and others around them. And hopefully it will continue to do that and spark that reading journey. And they might not be reading Rap Kid next year, they might be on to other books, which is great because I've been responsible for some small part of that journey.
Starting that, and I think that's a lovely way to end, to spark that reading journey, what you've just said. I just think it's beautiful. So one of the things that I always say is with this lovely book, Rap Kid, the GOAT, here's book 1. Please read this book. And I always say, go to the library if you can, please. Libraries are super important. And remind me of the library character in here.
Page Turner.
The page turner. You can meet many page turners in.
Turns out to be a
Okay.
Because she's got so many words,
She's got so many words. You might meet a page turner in your local library and keep on reading and reading and reading. Thank you, MC Grammer, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. This podcast was woven in partnership with our friends at Tapestry, the childhood education platform. They have kindly devised the educational resources for each podcast interview. Tapestry helps you celebrate children's learning, improve communication with families, and streamline your admin with powerful booking, invoicing, and management tools, giving you more time for what matters, the children and you. Visit tapestry.info to find out more. This podcast series was recorded at the Quick Brown Fox Video Production Studios in Wandsworth Town, London, with top-notch equipment and a knowledgeable team who are always happy to help. Recording our podcast has been a breeze.